What does it mean for you to have this title? What does it mean for our people?
So I have to think deep about that one. You know, so I mean, on the one hand, it doesn't mean much. Like, I mean, I was with some students from a high school that you went to yesterday, and you know, they actually might not know what a vice-chancellor is or does. What I think it actually means for them is someone who's much closer to their experience is in a position of leadership in their institution. And so I think there's an accountability that I feel towards all of these students, whether they're a Lasalian or whether they're from Takapuna or whether they're from offshore. Hoping what it means for us is that we know that we have one of New Zealand's great institutions that's being led with them in mind and in heart. Yeah. So I grew up in a part of Auckland, Glen Innes, which back then was very different to how it is now. It's been considerably changed, some would say gentrified since then. My father worked in a factory for 44 years and my mother worked as an enrolled nurse at Middlemore. And one of the reasons my father came from Samoa was around education. So we were an education first family. You know, we were encouraged to be good students, and that being a good student was a way to have a better life than my parents had. I got to do a PhD at the University of Oxford, and then I got a job at one of the great universities of the world, which is the University of Michigan. And so that brings with it all sorts of privilege, including being in a university of incredible wealth. That's when I got my first sort of taste of university leadership, and I realised I had a contribution to make in that area. So it was a really important time in my life, yeah. One of the best indicators of how you're going to achieve in New Zealand education is the income of your parents. And the fact that that is true should concern us all, because talent is everywhere, but opportunity isn't. And if universities aren't places where talent can find opportunity, then we're not getting it right. So we need our smartest, hardworking, talented students to find their potential. We know that if you're having to work part-time while you're studying, if you don't have a quiet, secure and safe place to study, you don't have a laptop, of course you're disadvantaged. And so that disadvantage is disproportionately fallen with Pacific students, Māori students and those of deprived backgrounds. And what that's meant is that we're not graduating students at the levels that we should. You might not have done so well at school. That's not the measure of your potential. What you did in year 12 shouldn't define your life. The contribution I wanted to make was to lead an institution which was first and foremost an opportunity institution. Yeah.